Alright guys, time to take the rose-colored glasses off. In our last video, I talked about the positives and why I like gacha games, but if we take a look at the comments on that video, or if you've played these games long enough, you know that the rush and joy from gacha games eventually fades. So I had a follow-up video planned, which is this one, where we're going to talk about the negative side of gacha games, and once all the dopamine from these games clears up, what we're left with. Regret, sadness, and emptiness that no amount of 5-star waifus or husbandos can fill. The gacha industry isn't just selling us a game, a free-to-play game. It is selling us a chance at feeling something. Today, we're going to take a look at what that chance actually costs us. Not just in terms of the dollar amount, but what it does to us in our brains and what it does to us in our time, and yeah, what it's doing to the gaming industry a little bit. And that kind of leads me to my first point. I talked about MapleStory briefly and how it was my first experience with gacha games and got me hooked young. It was kind of a pioneer in that way, but it's also kind of a cautionary tale, because if we take a look back in 2024, just a couple of years ago, the Korean Fair Trade Commission actually hit Nexon with a almost $9 million fine, not in USD, but in the Korean won or whatever, but almost $9 million fined, which to them is kind of just a little bit of a tax because they've made so much money. But what Nexon was doing in MapleStory was, over the course of 10 years, they were manipulating the odds of their cubing system, which is kind of a part of their gacha system, which is used to power up gear. And they weren't just lowering the rates, but for some of the highest tier results that you'd want to hit, they were allegedly setting the probability to 0, which is absolutely insane. It's really sad to see, but it printed money for them. That game was extremely popular, or is still for the last almost 25 years overseas and somewhat here in America. But taking a chance and making it 0 is insane. Imagine spending hundreds, thousands of dollars for a chance at something that doesn't exist. They were running the best casino. They just had the chances at 0. That is the inherent cost of this genre. We're in a virtual casino where the house isn't exactly regulated. They're kind of regulating themselves. In a physical casino, the house has an edge, but it's regulated. And in a gacha game, you're just playing against a code that could be changed in a single update. They could decide that between the hours of 12 and 5 p.m. when people are most likely to roll, the probability is actually half of what it should be. And we wouldn't know any better unless if there's some whistleblower letting everybody know the secrets. But even with the published rates that we are able to see, we should have an idea of what our odds are, but we can't know for sure unless if we are digging into the code, and yeah, the rates could be rigged and we wouldn't even know it. And whether it's just bad luck or the rates aren't legit, either way, you're paying the cost of how crazy these games monetization can be. And outside of the odds of pulling in these gacha games, which are pretty insane odds, sometimes you have better chances of just going to a casino and earning a few bucks. But there is a big trap that comes with these games that I've fallen into. I'm sure many players have, but it's the pity trap and the kind of sunk cost fallacy trap. It's there's countless stories of, I don't even like playing this game anymore, but I've spent hundreds of dollars and I've played it every day for the last 2 years. And if I quit now, then all that money and all that time was for nothing. And that's kind of the sunk cost fallacy in its truest form. Gacha games are built to weaponize that. You sign in every day for 10-15 minutes to do your dailies if it's not a new patch and there's not stuff for you to do or events for you to do. And for some people that becomes a part of their routine. You just hop on, do your dailies. I mean, that's what I do with mobile. I'm much more likely to hop on my dailies for Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail and just go through them, spend 10-15 minutes and get my less than 1 roll's worth of premium currency and stack that up, because if I don't do it, then it's I'm missing out, and it becomes more of a little mini job. Like, that's an hour's worth of work a week, like 10 minutes a day, 7 days a week. That's an hour and some change. Like, I could go minimum wage, make at least $15 and just buy more currency than I spent playing the game. Once you start thinking about that, like, you kind of lose the plot a little bit, and it becomes, yeah, you go a little bit crazy thinking about that. But then outside of that cost of time, we've got the pity system, which tries to affect the cost of our wallets. On the surface, it's like a safety net. It's the game saying, don't worry, like, you're getting closer. Once you reach 80 pools, you'll get something. Don't worry. Like, we won't let you lose forever. But psychologically, that's like a leash. If you're 70 pulls into a banner and you haven't hit the character that you want, you kind of feel obligated to spend a few bucks to hit that last 10 pull and like finish out that pity. You're so much more likely when you're that close. That pity isn't just for you. It's kind of a mechanism to ensure that you don't leave a banner empty-handed, which benefits you. Sure, like, you didn't spend 200 rolls to get a character, you spent 80, but that also benefits the company, because instead of spending 50 rolls, you spent 80. Like, you spend a few bucks to get to that pity mark, so you get that character, and it just kind of becomes a never-ending cycle. And that becomes like a never-ending cycle because of the next complaint that I have when it comes to gacha games, and that is the power creep. That feels like it's a hamster on a wheel, just running in circles endlessly. If you take a look at a 1.0 release character compared to a character 2-3 years into the game's release, it's like they give this character a wooden stick, and then they give the character 2 years into the game like a lightsaber or something. It's just the power levels become so significantly different that you have to constantly be unlocking new characters. If you don't, you kind of fall behind. And you fall behind in this power, yes. Like, you want to have enough power to be able to complete the end game, but the end game is just repeated combat in these like timed scenarios. And it's not really anything like it's not even worth it. Like, one of the positives that I have personally about these games is the story. I like the episodic, continual story where we get progressive updates, and I enjoy that. I know that there's negatives to it. Like, sometimes it is such a relief to boot up a regular game that I paid money for. You pay money, you get a game, you play it from the start to the finish. Like, if you look at Clair Obscur, like, that is an amazing game that like no gacha story is gonna like match it. There might be some really hype moments, and there might be some really lovable characters, and it's anime aesthetic, and we're all a bunch of weebs. But at the end of the day, like, you can just go play an 80-hour JRPG. You could go play Persona. You could go play Trails in the Sky. Like, there's really good story-based games out there, but I can't play Clair Obscur on my phone. Sometimes I enjoy having a little bit of trash TV in my games. It's the Love Island of gaming, and I'm not trying to defend it, but just a random little portion of this rant, I guess. But yeah, power creep, bad. I don't know how I got to where I got, but that's where we got. Power creep, bad. They're going to release a character that is going to be irrelevant, and so you continue to pull for the more relevant characters, which leads to more spending, and that's what they want. So they're never going to release a character that's inherently worse than the character before it, if that makes sense. Like, it's subtle, but they keep building on it, and eventually, like, you don't want to play a character from 1.0 in 3.5. Just the way it is. Now, before we wrap up this video with some comments from the community, I'd just like to say hi. I'm on camera. It's weird. I feel a little bit uncomfortable. But if this video gets 10,000 likes, I'll shave my head. But yeah, we're going to take a look at the comments from this video and kind of just like chat with a real voice instead of talking over text, because I'd like to address some of the things that were said. So a big common take is that these games just kind of aren't good. And to that, that's just like personal opinion. Like, it is what it is. If you don't like them, don't play them. I don't blame you. I could see pros and cons in why you could enjoy it. I can see why people really don't enjoy it, and it is what it is. Another one of the common takes that I saw was that I'm going to read it verbatim, but the scam of 99% of gacha games is that the end game you are grinding for is just more gacha. So you're playing at the end game to try and unlock more currency to feed right back into the gacha system. So you're pulling to make yourself good enough to win more pools. And I agree with that commenter. I think that is BS. And it would feel more relevant if the rewards were more than they are. Like, if you're able to complete the end game and get like a full pity's worth of pools, then like, yeah, that's dope. But you're not getting that. And then we had this comment. That rush you described, that only happens for gamblers. I get no rush. I am not a gambler. And the only thing I feel when pooling is impatience and irritation. I plan and arrange for me to get who I go for. I know what it takes and if there is a real money cost involved. If I'm just dropping a 10 pool on the off chance I get something, I guess I feel a little twinge of excitement when it works out, but mostly I just feel disappointment when I don't get anything. Gacha has only ever made getting what I already want a worse experience. Now, I totally get where this commenter is coming from. If you plan for a patch or several patches ahead, you can mathematically like guarantee how much currency you need to unlock a character. And that's like the responsible thing to do. Like, don't pull for every character. Don't try and build up pity on a character you don't really want, because like there's an off chance you get it. Like there's an off chance that you lose the 50-50, but then you know, like, okay, well, I got an early pity, or like I hit early and I either unlocked or didn't unlock the character. Like I lost a 50-50, so I know, okay, it's only going to be one full pity's worth to unlock the character that I actually want. But then if you spend 50 pools and you unlock the character that you didn't really want, then you're kind of stuck with at least 80 pools for a 50-50 chance, and then possibly another 80 pools for a chance to like actually guarantee the character you want. Don't build pity. What I'm saying is that like there's nothing wrong with not enjoying the gacha system. If you play these games because you enjoy the character designs and you enjoy the gameplay and you enjoy like story and whatever, use the gacha to the best of your ability. Like if you don't get anything from the gacha, like that's kind of great. Like don't get hooked on it. I encourage that. And then here's a comment that I kind of get like pretty big time, and it's a popular comment based on the likes, but the comment is, honestly, 99% of gacha games have instantly died for me about a year and a half ago, when I realized that all I'm doing is clicking through notifications, getting minuscule rewards, and doing the same 20 things every single day. It's just a daily login simulator. It's annoying because most of them have great stories and even great gameplay. Heck, I have the soundtrack of multiple games downloaded because they're that good. But none of it matters because of the 50 sub-menus that you need to keep going through every 2 seconds. Hey, you did one fight, here is 5 currencies, but you need 100 more for a single pool. Nice for checking this random menu once, here's 5 more. Oh, great, you finished 5 fights in a game mode that gives you nothing, but this daily progress. So here's 25 more currency. But remember, if you miss even one of those, you'll permanently damage your account, since 90% of your currency income is from dailies. See you tomorrow. And then to finish up their comment, they said, I don't really have that much of a problem with gacha itself. Some of them can actually do it well. It's all just bogged down through the constant forced routine and menus. At this point, just the existence of a daily quest system is too exhausting for me to even bother with any of these games. I totally get where you're coming from with the daily routine of just running through, doing nothing, and then like you're just pushing a bunch of buttons to get 75 currency. And it's like, did I have any fun? And for me personally, I have fun when a gacha game is like brand new and like there's a lot to do. That's fun. I don't mind all the menus and stuff so much. It does get very tedious in certain games, but if they can streamline that a little bit, I'd appreciate it. But once I start to reach a point in a game where it just becomes a bit of a daily grind and I'm not like seeking any new experience, like once it becomes too repetitive, that's when they're going to start to lose me. I do enjoy the patch updates and going through story, but with where I'm at currently, I'm currently playing through Zenless Zone Zero. I'm still like going through the 1.0 quests, and it's a lot of fun because there's a lot to do. Like, I don't have to wait another month for more story, but once I'm up to date on the game, I'll feel like bored. Like, I'm not going to want to just sign on and do dailies. Maybe I'll have a couple weeks where it's fun to try and grind out some gear for characters, but eventually it will just kind of become like a clicking simulator, and that's not really a good time. But outside of those comments that I really want to touch on, there's just a lot of like negative feelings towards Gacha. People don't love it, and I get it. And if you don't like it, play something else. I like these games. I like the stories and the characters. I don't love the free-to-play gambling casino monetization, but that's the cost of playing. It's a mental cost, it's a time cost, and it's a literal cost to your wallet. So we've got the money, we've got the time cost, we've got the reliance on the daily grind just to get like a single pull every few days. I understand that these games kind of create a system where you're kind of a slave to a schedule, and eventually you aren't playing the game because you want to. You're playing it because of that fear of missing out. And of course, I've heard horror story after horror story of people being addicted to the gacha, addicted to the gambling. That's something that if you need help for, you need to get help for that. But if you're just afraid of missing out in these games, or if you're not having fun, then don't play them. Like, when a game starts to dictate your schedule and your life schedule, and the cost isn't just to your wallet, I don't think that that's like freedom. So like, don't play these games if you don't want to. It's that simple. I like these games. I like some of the stories. I like characters. I like the progression system, but it's not for everyone. And the monetization model certainly has a plethora of issues that I don't exactly love. But if the cost of playing to you is more than just 10-15 bucks a month, and it's a mental tax, and it's an effort to constantly prevent yourself from spending money for the fear of missing out, maybe these games aren't for you, and that's okay. There's so many amazing games that are probably better, if I'm being honest. Go and play those. But if you do get any amount of joy, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And if you want to hear why I enjoy gacha games and you didn't see my previous video, go and check that out. I've got a lot more content coming. We've got 7 Deadly Sins Origin coming out in about a week from this video coming out. We've got Neverness to Everness coming out shortly after that. I can't wait for that. I'm going to be making a ton of content. We will see if I will have my face on here. I don't know. It's a little awkward. But let's keep the conversation going. I'd love to hear down in the comments below, what is the one mechanic in gacha games, even if it's your favorite, that makes you want to uninstall? And also, like, I'm curious if anybody's ever had any wake-up calls, like with spending, with time. I'd love to hear about that down below too. Nothing too personal, but this is all I want to leave you guys with. If you find yourself playing more out of obligation than joy, then it might be time to take a break. The games will always be here. There'll always be something new, but your time and your peace of mind are far more important than that. But thank you for watching. I enjoyed yapping with you guys again. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Subscribe for future videos. 10,000 likes and I'll shave my head. I'm just looking for an excuse. All right, peace.